I'm Walter Day, founder of Twin Galaxies, and you're watching Groovey.TV.
Hey, this is Groovy. I'm here with Walter Day here at the Kong Off 3 in Denver, Colorado. How the heck are you, sir?
I love being on Thor TV. Okay, I'm honored to be here on Groovey.TV. I love being on Groovey.TV. This is my second time being on it, but the thing is Groovey's heart is so pure and loving and friendly and embracing of all aspects of culture. That's why I predict this show is going to become bigger and bigger and a very important document or a commemoration of a vast amount of culture, popular culture, because you have your hands full, because look at all the stuff is available to cover now. Comic books, art, graphic art, films, TV, contests like this, the whole world of video games, of anything that's in the collecting field. There's so much stuff that you can cover because it's important stuff, and it's stuff that matters to many people around the world. And people, a show like yours keeps them abreast of the news and also about the cultural evolution that's going on.
And first of all, I got to say, thank you so much for everything and your kind words and everything, but also we cover music, which I believe you are very, very involved with.
Oh yeah, because I'm actually writing a musical, believe it or not. My old original experience of opening my arcade in 1981, when I had to deal with the city and how suddenly overnight the arcade, Twin Galaxies arcade in 1981, suddenly became the world's most famous arcade and became the center of the video game world and the official place where you'd go if you wanted to make a world record. Or at least the place you'd submit your world records to from your arcade if you couldn't come in person. But essentially, Twin Galaxies became a very big deal. It was an interesting experience because it was a small town and we weren't a very well-endowed arcade. We had 22 games, and there were other arcades in big cities with 189 games or something like that. So it was a remarkable experience, and I'm taking all the songs that I've been hearing playing in my head for decades and formatting them into a musical. So
that is so cool.
It's going to be fun, a lot of fun, and it's an invigorating, exhilarating, exciting experience writing an actual musical.
I am so stoked to see that.
Yeah, and so this is what I'm so excited about. The other thing I'm so excited about is what's really led to this interview today is that, holy smokes, Groovey.TV is on a trading card. Who would guess that it would take this long for there to be an official set of video game trading cards? I mean, there are like 1 billion gamers now, essentially. It's like maybe 60, 70, 80 billion dollars annual industry, something big. But no one ever did video game trading cards, really. Some people did a little set for Donkey Kong, a little set for Pac-Man, but no one really documented the history of the culture and the people that make up that culture until this set of video game trading cards came along from Twin Galaxies. And Groovey.TV is on trading card number 710, where he's been honored, and this is the official award that's been issued to Groovey today on November 17th, 2013. Mark that day, an important day in history. It'll be down, someday they'll have a celebration called Groovey Day to commemorate when Groovey got his award and appeared on his trading card. And
do I get a parade? All right, man, so thank you so much. Seriously, when you told me about this, I got all misty and I was like, oh, but I told everyone and it blew my mind. Thank you so much.
Well, one thing that's so neat about it is that it's great art that got put on the actual card. And then I was able to figure out how to put it in a format that actually balanced with that art and what word am I looking for? It harmonized with that art. So it became what I thought was a very nice trading card. And of course, this award, I think, is something that should be hung on the wall. And my request to you is that when you get this hanging on the wall, definitely have a photograph of yourself standing beside it is on the wall so we can put it on Facebook, because this will be a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. This thing is getting seriously framed and everything else.
And the reason you got this is because you give good-hearted and very intelligent and very creative service to the world of gaming. Because the world of gaming now is the world's biggest entertainment venue. It's bigger than any of the sports things. It's bigger than any of the music things. It's bigger than movies. Games are so big that those other three industries I just mentioned are all in the coattails now of the gaming industry in a sense. So, and because of that incredible paramount prominence of the video game industry. It's important to recognize the full range of the culture. So the whole reason the Twin Galaxies video game trading cards are being created and published is so that we can commemorate the history of the global video game culture, honoring the iconic pioneers, the industry leaders, the people who made the inventions, that designed the games, the people who really strived hard to make sure that the creativity and the dynamism and the cultural growth of that whole community and industry is monitored and commemorated and documented, which is where you fit in, because you are making sure that the history of all this gets documented and gets remembered, because people in the future will care about this, because we're all pioneers. Because 100 years from now, we will be, I mean, even though games might have started 40 years ago, this whole time period will be remembered as the time of the pioneers starting it all, because to say that gaming is going to be big 100 years from now is an understatement. Right. And this will be a historical relic. I mean, I don't know who will inherit this someday, but no one will throw this away. People will put these awards on the wall because, I mean, especially like if you had grandchildren, or your sister has children and they're great-grandchildren.
I'm putting this in the Smithsonian, dude.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, but
screw the grandkids. Let's go in the Smithsonian. Are you kidding me?
Put it in a mailing tube and address it to the Smithsonian's Groovey.TV historical collection, and I think they'll have a Groovy wing, won't they?
Well, you gotta have a Groovy wing.
So
that is so amazing, dude, and thank you so much.
I'm so sincerely honored to have someone who cares so much about this industry and this community that you go to the effort you do, because I know you couldn't possibly be making money all the time of doing this. You got to be doing this as a care of duty and just a love for the whole thing. So,
right, yeah.
I'm honored that today, on November 17th, 2013, Groovey.TV was honored on a video game trading card, and that video game trading card will probably be furiously collected by avid collectors for hundreds of years into the future. Right up there, besides Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, Babe Ruth, and Groovey.TV.
Maybe Darth Vader.
I left them out. Sorry, Darth Vader.
All right, man. So let's talk about the Kong Off 3. This thing has been freaking amazing. Has there been any surprises for you?
Well, one surprise is it's a tough environment to play in, because it's a loud place, it's a crowded place, and it's a fun place, but they're all very challenged also. So I thought maybe there'd be more extremely high scores than there actually have been.
Interesting.
But the thing is that they're all under so much pressure, and it's such an unusual environment that they don't commonly probably have at home, with all the noise and the crowds and the bustling around and just playing game after game after game after game. So I thought there might be a new world record, possibly, but there hasn't been. But there have been some remarkable scores. And the person who won last year is right now in first place and could possibly be, winning back to back, second.
How cool would that be?
Yeah, that's very cool. He's a young man. He's from Canada. And when another crew of TV people were interviewing him, after the interview was over, they said, "My God, that guy's really intelligent. He's like a genius." So he's a Canadian named Jeff Willem. So he's out in front right now, but he's being closely pursued by a bunch of other people, like Dean Salio, who's from Rhode Island. And Steve Wiebe, I think, is ending up in about third or fourth place.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so there's like 35 contestants, 12 main people, and I think about 22 wild cards have gone through the whole process. They eliminated some of them yesterday in some earlier rounds, earlier heats of competition. And so I think they have about maybe 15 or 20 playing right now, and they get to play right up to the last minute. I think they're allowed to put a quarter in, maybe start one more game, I think if I'm right, at about 5 o'clock, and then play that out as however long it takes. Because if they actually play out a full game that leads to the famous kill screen,
right,
that could be a 2.5-hour game easily.
Okay. Okay.
So it's an incredible, enduring ordeal is the word I'm looking for. Because here's what you have to realize. The intricacies of the game are so complex, with so many dynamic forces working against you, because it's like going through a obstacle course is what you're doing. It's essentially an obstacle course, and it's very akin. You have to be very similar to like a star Golden Glove shortstop, who has to be able to immediately, on a deep intuitive level, when the ball cracks off the bat, know which direction to step. almost like immediately the steps, so that he has a better chance, he has a better range of fielding, okay? And then actually have the hands to pull the ball in and pull the ball down. I don't know if you watched any of the recent World Series games, but there was the last one especially, there's some amazing stops and catches by second basemen and shortstops and stuff like that. And it's that kind of skill where you need fast reaction time, great eye-hand coordination, and tremendous, almost like intuitive, deep, intelligent thinking, so that you can immediately assess the situation and on a deep, almost like subconscious level, immediately know how to respond and execute the right move. So with all these tremendous qualities and talents needed, it's not easy to be a star Donkey Kong player. So these people are truly great stars who have come here to compete in this, and it's very, very wearing, very demanding, because you're only allowed 4 mistakes. I mean, you can win the Golden Glove as a shortstop, but I think you make more than 4 errors in a season. Maybe you make 9 errors in a season. Still our top Golden Glove, candidate in baseball. But they can only make 4 mistakes, and then the game's over, and they've lost it. So it's very demanding, very amazing, and it's a long path through all those obstacles, screen after screen after screen after screen, where you can't lose your focus for a minute. In the same way that a surgeon can't lose his focus for a moment while doing surgery, because that would be bad news if he started thinking about the Kansas City Chiefs play in the Denver Broncos when he's doing this delicate brain operation or something. That wouldn't work very well. And so in the same way, actually Steve said to me, Steve Wiebe, when he finished his last game, he says, I think he said something like, I just suddenly lose my focus for a second and stop completely paying attention to something, and it got me. And that's a good example. And I think that's what he was saying. Because you have to be exactly like a surgeon. You have to be completely cognizant of what you're doing at every single moment for you to survive and make the game a successful high score. Because you can't make mistakes, because you're only allowed 4 mistakes in Donkey Kong. Maybe a Golden Glove shortstop can get 20 mistakes and still win the Golden Glove, but you don't get away with a Donkey Kong. So because of that, because it's so mentally exhausting because of the focus, we have to really take our hats off to every single person who's down there, because they are the stars of the stars.
Oh, yeah, it's incredible.
Let's hear it.
Woo! All right, man, so what's next for you after the Kong Off 3? What are you up to?
Well, I go home, I continue to work on the trading card set, I continue to work on my musical, and who knows what else. Life is good and life is fun, and it's been fun to come here. This is a great event, and
Oh, it's great to have you, man.
I love Denver. It took me 2 days or 3 days, I think, to acclimate to the different oxygen density that's here, and it was by the second day that I suddenly noticed that I was kind of like out of breath at the top of the stairs or something. I couldn't figure what was that all about. But this has been a lot of fun, and I'm very honored to be here, and I'm always honored to be on Groovey.TV.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for the award. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the Kong Off 3. It's so amazing. And this is Groovy. Hey, this is Walter Day. Twin Galaxies. We're at the Kong Off 3, Denver, Colorado. Rock on!